Welcome back to Singapore One. I'm Rafferty Philips. In international news, investigations into Pakistan's international airlines crash in Karachi, which resulted in the loss of over 100 passenger lives, has come under public scrutiny for a lack of transparency in the analysis of technical data in what officials are describing as engine failure. Public criticism has suggested more questions than answers. Prime Minister Imran Khan promises an independent inquiry amidst tensions over Parliament's lack of coronavirus response. Which brings us to our nightly segment on the pandemic response, where we give voice to ordinary citizens who are being challenged by the ramifications of COVID-19, an unfiltered look into the lives of those most affected. Tonight, we focus on the U.S., two citizens whose daily lives have been uprooted by the U.S. state and federal restrictions, and we see how they're coping. Joining us, Franklin Murphy.
Yeah, that's Frank, okay? I told your producers that my name is Frank, not Franklin, alright? Just Frank.
Our apologies. Frank Murphy from New Jersey, who is a self-described handyman who has found himself unemployed since the pandemic outbreak.
Yeah, well, maybe a few months before that.
And from New York City, author, sex therapist, and consultant Miss Sheila Watley, who's written a series of op-eds on sex work for the American news aggregator and blog media site HuffPost. And it's wonderful, too, being here with you, Rafferty. Thank you. Excellent. First to Mr. Murphy. Tell our viewers how the independent contracted labor industries have been affected, and a few words about your personal story.
Yeah, well, I says that I'm a handsy man, alright? So, I don't know what's so difficult to figure out, alright? I use my hands. I'm a handy man, alright? Now, I can't speak for all the other laborers that are out there, but let's just get something straight here. I know how all this here fake news works, huh? I know how it works. You get all these big words, right? And you throw them out there to confuse people. And what's really going on is you're working with some mastermind jugheads trying to turn everyone into butt masters for your 5G.
Interesting. The U.S. in March passed the CARES Act, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act, which expanded unemployment benefits and released additional stimulus checks to beneficiaries. Were you able to benefit from this stimulus package?
Yeah. You know, you're getting real clever again with your big words. All right, Mr. Suspenders? All right. No packages stimulate me except for a cold brewski and a nice pair of double D milk sacks, okay?
So you received no government assistance?
Mark my words. Socialism is communism, huh? I take no freebies. Zero dinero. Because the minute that you start taking some of that free funny money, and because that's exactly what I call it free, funny, government money, then you might as well be a slave to the system, all right? Slave to a suit, a.k.a. liberals, a.k.a. Nancy Pelosi's, all right? Because if you start taking freebies, then you're telling the whole world that you ain't got nothing. Next thing you know, you're dropping your trousers to any mansy-pansy trying to plow your chocolate starfish.
Interesting perspective. Miss Sheila Watley.
Yes.
You've composed a dearth of op-eds on the effects of the coronavirus on the sex worker industry for publications such as HuffPost, BuzzFeed, and The Intercept.
liberal trash.
Detailing what it's like working in the 21st century gig economy where oftentimes there are no protections, whether legal or financial, in an underground economy which the US publication The Atlantic recently cited as a billion-dollar industry. Tell us how COVID-19 has affected you.
Well, yes, all that you just said is true. I have detailed sex life work and the power of sex and domination for years now, and also about that little bitch Rona. I've made some slight modifications in how I personally do my work.
Freak.
Oh yeah, baby.
So, your work has been affected.
Well, yes, just like everyone else's work. Look, sex work is work. Don't ever get that twisted. From the 16th century Harris list of Covent Garden ladies in London to our modern cat houses in Nevada, sex work is some of the oldest professions, but often criminalized in puritanical societies.
So, how have you personally been affected by COVID-19?
Well, I do know that some of the girls that I know have been having some issues with keeping up with the dollars. But maybe it's because I have a dedicated client base, or maybe it's because of my prowess for persuasion. But financially, I'm still on the up and up.
So you're still maintaining a client base, though social distancing is stressed by your New York governor, Andrew Cuomo, and literature provided by the CDC. You are also not considered an essential industry.
Look, figureheads may not see my business as essential, but they don't call it the oldest profession for nothing. Sheila is always essential, always up for business. And well, I work with what I got. I have my own stimulus packages, different price points for whatever tickles your fancy. But all clients have to submit some of my own Rona testing.
Oh?
First, when they enter, I take their temperatures. And the most accurate temperature is taken anally.
Oh, brother.
Rectal really gives you the better reading. So I just simply ask clients to drop their pants and I just shove the thermometer right up their ass.
Miss Watley, some of these details for our viewers are not quite,
Well, of course these are important details. And if the reading is below 98 degrees, well then Shantae, you stay. But if the reading is above, then sashay away.
Dear Lord.
For some reason, some of my very paranoid customers I have given me some more requests for hazmat suits, which at the moment I'm not really into wearing. But I've heard herd mentality is all about a little bit of exposure for your protection.
I believe you mean herd immunity.
Yeah. But if they want hazmat suits, they can wear them. Sheila serves face 24/7. She can't be bothered. Now, I have had some interesting requests, though. Besides hazmat suits, gas masks, apocalyptic domination, all sorts of role-playing reflecting the crisis. It can get a little pricey.
So there seems to be intimate contact.
Well, sex always has a level of intimacy, unless you request otherwise. Hey, Rafferty, do you mind if I change the backdrop?
We rather you not do that. Miss Watley, please stop doing that.
Sorry.
What I'm trying to say is aren't you worried about your physical proximity to a contagion? Aren't you worried about getting the coronavirus yourself?
Honey, some of my clients are the CDC, so I tend to have first-hand knowledge of what to do and what not to do. And let me tell you, there's a lot that we can do, if you get my drift.
Yeah, I heard most of them rubbing tugs keep Lysol around so they can zap the China bug.
The proper term is coronavirus, which was first discovered in the US in the 1930s in respiratory infections in chickens, and the human coronavirus was later isolated in the 1960s in both the UK and the US.
Okay, Brainiac.
You know, Frank, your voice sounds very familiar.
Who, me? No, I don't.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You know, you liberal chicks are all freaks. But, how much you charge for a rubbing tug these days, huh?
Depends.
And on that note, we will end it there. I would like to thank my guest Franklin Murphy
It's Frank, Mr. Suspenders!
and Miss Sheila Walkley for their unique perspectives on the lives of average Americans dealing with the coronavirus.
And you ain't never gonna catch me in a face mask, okay? No pie hole diaper for me.
And I'm Rafferty Philips with Singapore.
Bye, Rafferty.
Someone open this for me. Someone know how to get the top off of this thing.